I was like, yo, man, he is really, really connecting the dots here and exposing the flagrant truth. So what we want to do is want to play some of the key parts that Marcellus Wiley spoke about this story, and then want to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to Marcellus Wiley here.
What I know about this is that, in general, the makeup room is a setup for failure, setup for disaster. It's a recipe for disaster. And this is not to damn the makeup artist. It's because that's the breeding ground for all these salacious relationships. Everywhere I've worked, and you can look it up. You can just literally type in network, makeup artist, blah, blah, blah. It's an intimate environment. She's right in your face. And I've seen it go both ways. The players or the former players or the announcer, the host, whoever the guest is going in there ready to mac, ready to holler. It could be that person. It could be the makeup artist who is, she knows how close in the proximity she is to some access, some success. She knows how powerful these figures are, you know? And I've also seen it where you come in and you're just not even tripping. But you guys see each other 5 times a week, multiple times a day. She ain't ugly, you ain't either. You got $5, she got $4. Y'all kicking it. And it turns into something. I've seen it every single level. This one specifically, I can't pin down on Skip Bayless. That's a lot of money for something that's free online. I'm going to say that again. But over 7 years, as is alleged, things are different. Things can change for her. Let's get to this one. Joy Taylor, because I think she's taking most of the heat right now. This really came at Skip Bayless, and his name is splattered. And look, him and Ernestine going to have some conversations. Oh, aren't they? But Joy Taylor basically is being framed as sleeping her way to success, allegedly. So let's talk through it. It says she slept with Charlie Dixon, who's the head of content, basically the boss of FS1, because he's the daily guy that you will always know has his fingerprints on everything there. Eric Shanks runs FS1, but that's probably a little more paperwork, a little more shaking of hands, etc. The content, what you see, who you see, all of that, the budgets, oh, that's Charlie Dixon, and that's my dog. However, in terms of Joy Taylor, they say that him and Joy Taylor had a romantic relationship. That's what Nushin says. And others, according to the lawsuit. All right. Why is that important? Well, if you're sleeping with the guy who allegedly runs everything, sooner or later, no matter how fast you are, you're going to be running something.
So you heard what he had to say. He didn't even hesitate to say when he heard about the rumor about Acho and Joy Taylor. He's like, yeah, I heard that too. Now, folks, let's get into why this is a problem. Okay. This is a problem on so many levels at Fox. We have the harassment level where we have a problem, where there's a problem with that. We have the intimidation part with Joy and the lady Faraj allegedly. You have that aspect of it. You have the part about when this situation was presented to HR and their unwillingness to do something about this. We have the part about the manipulation from the top with Charlie Dixon and all of that. You have all of these different aspects. And then you have the part about people dating at work. Now, there was a huge story a few years ago about Email Doke and all of that took place. This then begs the question, is this how things work at Fox? And what's their company policy on this? Because if you have staff members sleeping with executives, allegedly, then you're going to have a conflict of interest, number one. And number two, where does it leave the people that don't sleep with anyone? Where does it leave them? I mean, imagine you being in a situation where you're like, okay, I want to get I'm working out, I want to get a raise and get promoted. And you find out like, okay, well, yeah, it's good that you're working hard, but there's another way you can really expedite the process. And is if you have some hoo-ha time with so-and-so person and you're like, well, I'm not willing to do it. And then they're like, okay, well, then just be happy where you are. How would one feel being in an environment like that? How would you also feel, and this is kind of alluding to what Jason Whitlock said, I'm going to talk about that later. How would you then feel when You, that's a person that's qualified, talented, bringing a lot to the table, gets cast away to the side for somebody else that's doing things that you're not willing to do. Where's the fairness in that type of workplace environment? Right? And it shows you that there seems to be a toxic culture that exists, Fox, at least based on this